that one. Wow. I'm good at tech. What the bloody hell is going on? I can't even bloody see the stream. I've already lost where you go. Is it here? Yes. Manage. Yes. Am I in? What do you mean connect streaming software? What do you mean? Oh no, never mind. I can see myself. Duh. What a complex fucking job, am I right? Alright, well, where's the link so I can spam it everywhere? Can you tell how long it's been since I've done one of these things? No. No. I just want the link to the stream. You do not help at all, YouTube. Is it this? Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he? He's done it again. Fuck me. There we bloody go. Jesus. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Am I alright? I'm blinking in and out on my end, apparently. Well, on one of them. On the other one, I'm perfectly fine. Anyone want to help? Am I alright? On my end, I'm fine. But then on the other end, I'm spazzing all over the place. Checking. Checking phone. This is genius strategy, this is. Yeah. 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 Are we working? Loading. Brilliant. I'm here to get myself another view as well. Oh, great. My Amazon order has been dispatched. That's fantastic. Imagine if I had my name in that. That would have been awkward. Oh, not that you could see it. Hey, I'm fine. What is wrong with my computer? Who cares? Nothing better be wrong with this computer. Alright, cool. What's up, everyone? How are we all? Anything interesting happening in the world today? No? Brilliant? Good. That's what I like to hear. So, I'm turning this up one because I'm slow. There we go. Alright. We got anything interesting to talk about? I like how I said, oh yeah, I'd quite like to stream and chat, and I'm just like, have you got the topics of conversation? Because I ain't got shit. Because I haven't. It's been long time no see though. That's for certain. Hello to everyone. Again, it's been a little while. For, as I explained before, for reasons outside of my control, was the explanation. That's about that. Not really much more to go into detail on other than that. It's out of the way now. Like I said the other day, maybe. I said it yesterday anyway. SmackDown's done. I'm going to work on ECW tonight. Get a lot of that out of the way. And then we move on to just continuing to pound through until we get to WrestleMania. Because I can't afford to take any more breaks. Because if I don't take any more breaks... Because if I do take any more breaks, rather... WrestleMania is not going to be out before 2K22 launches. Or at least before enough time into 2K22 launching... where I'll be screwed and I'll be way behind the game by the time that game launches. And then, obviously, no one will care about me. And I'll die even more than I already have. Ospreay relinquished the IWGP belt. Yeah, I did see. I'm not a fan of Ospreay, but hey, hope surgery goes well for him. Hope to see him back in the ring soon. Might not like the guy, but I do not want to see. I do not want him to suffer. So... Good luck for him. I'm still not watching New Japan. I know Shingo and Okada are going to do battle for the belt at Dominion. That match will probably be really good, but I can't say that I'm interested to go back to that company right now. It's just dire. And it's not as if things are getting better over there right now. Not as if they're getting closer to getting big attendances like we just saw with AEW last night. So keeping my neck out of the, keep my way outside of that one for a while. Should put the belt on the line in G1. Disagree. The idea of the G1 now is that the winner gets the winner faces the champion at Wrestle Kingdom. So no. Also incentivizing the title in the G1. How do you then set up who challenges for the title at Wrestle Kingdom? And then also there's a lot of people in that tournament who probably wouldn't deserve to be having the opportunity to challenge for the IWGP title, i.e. the fact that they put Toru Yano in there every year. I haven't watched Ring of Honor in a long time, Nelson. It's been a good few months since then. Winner chooses their challenger. Well, if a heel won it, wouldn't they just be incentivized to just pick the easiest guy possible? Nah, sorry man, I don't agree with that. Have the winner at Dominion. They go into G1. Great. That's what I like to see. I think you might just be doing extra steps at that point then, just to get to Shingo and Okada in the finals of the G1 at that point. So just do Shingo Okada now and then just let him tear through everything in the G1. Well, they will put Toru Yano though, because they are spread so thin. They don't have a talent pool that deep right now. With the amount of talent they're missing, they do not have a talent pool that deep where they can afford to not put Toru Yano into it. Or another name I'm trying to think of, who probably, fucking David Finlay could probably end up in the G1 for all we know right now. Not slagging on David Finlay, I'm just saying I don't think he's G1 worthy. Just use Young Lions, then you've completely destroyed the entire complex of the G1, and the G1 is suddenly not about what the G1 is about. Congratulations. G1 is a heavyweight tournament, you can't have juniors in it. These are the rules, it's not happening. I have destroyed you with facts and logic. Do you watch any wrestling show at the moment? I kind of keep up highlights of NXT and SmackDown. Other than that, no. I really do not have the time right now to sit there and just watch wrestling currently. I don't know, I'm at a bit of a lull for it. I think I'll get back into it when crowds are back full time in a lot of places. But as for right now, I don't really have the time or the desire to watch. So no, I don't really watch anything full time right now. I did see Kojima's in Impact. Good for him. Love a bit of Kojima. He's great. Just cross over. Oh yeah, just cross over with your two big rivals, Forehead. And you kind of you've started digging the grave now, and instead of using a shovel, you've got a digger, and now you are just digging yourself and the digger into this grave with you. So I think Raw sucks. I haven't watched it in months. Last episode of Raw I watched, there wasn't highlights, was the one that was McIntyre versus Keith Lee, and it ended with a Retribution run-in. I don't know how long ago that was. You could tell me that was 3 months ago and I'd believe you. You could tell me that was 8 months ago and I'd believe you. I do not know. I just know that was the last one I watched. It ended with, like, Keith Lee doing a tope onto Retribution. Well, they're not rivals? Yes, they are. Have I ever played? No, I've never heard of that game, Travis. Work grind got you by the neck? Honestly, it's the hours of work. It's the hours that I'm in work. And I don't mean, like, how many hours I'm in work. I mean, like the times that I'm in work. Like, that is my peak creation times. And it's just, like, not having that time to make content or to do anything outside of work right now has been killing me. Honestly killing me. I can't stand it. If I was doing the same job but 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, I'd be way happier. But 4 p.m. to midnight is dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And I am feeling the effects of it. My sleep quality has destroyed me in the last 2 weeks, I think. Last night I got into bed at 3 a.m. and I fell asleep at 7:30. So, that should tell you how this work grind is going. Yeah. ECW NXT. In terms of the actual real life stuff, NXT. I was never an ECW fan, which is ironic. I know. Are you satisfied with the decision to put Dunn over at King of the Ring? Of course, always, never not. That was the right decision from the moment. That was the decision that I was going with from the moment I created that tournament. It was Dunn wins. The end. I did have some other ideas heading into that tournament, i.e., I think there was going to be a shocking first round elimination. I think it was either going to be Bryan or Dijakovic were going to go out in the first round. But the idea was always Dunn was winning that tournament. And it was just almost the question of, okay, is it then Lee or... and if I wasn't going to do the first round elimination for Dijakovic, which obviously I didn't end up doing, was it going to be Lee or Dijakovic he would face in the finals? And obviously it was Keith Lee. Do I do YouTube full time? No. I earn more in a day at work than I do from a month of YouTube. That should tell you how profitable YouTube is. Is that empty? No, it's nearly empty. I just realized I went all the way to buying water and I just want to drink. It's okay, this is legal, I'm 22. Where's my bottle opener? Bollocks. Who's my pick for the triple threat title? I think Omega's gonna hold on to it. I won't be watching, but I think Omega's gonna hold on to it. I absolutely can't see them ever putting the title on Orange Cassidy. I think it'll be a mistake if they do. And Pac, I don't know. I just haven't done anything with him, I think. The only things I know heading into Double or Nothing, and this is coming from someone who is a complete outsider, i.e. the only information I get about Double or Nothing is anything put in the Discord or GIFs I see from TDE Wrestling on Twitter, is Pinnacle versus Inner Circle and Cody versus a Go-Go. I don't even know what they've done for the world title match. Did I have different plans for anyone the title? Oh, for Rollins? So I've touched upon this before. I never really knew where I was going with Rollins. I never knew how long it was going to be. I never knew who he was going to beat. I never knew that there was going to be a double title reign. There weren't really... It's not that there weren't plans. There just wasn't the plan set in motion of, well, let's break every record in sight with this title reign. That wasn't the plan when I started the reign. I wanted it to be a good reign because it was one of my favorite feuds I've ever done and still have ever done. But the intention to break every record in sight was never, never, never on the board. Never on the board. So it was kind of like, let's see where this goes with Rollins. Would I like if ECW returned in 2021? Nope. Downtime from now to 2K22 is rough. It is. It is. I think I think I'd have a better time of it if my times at work were better equipped for me to work around in. As in, again, like I said just a moment ago, if I was working from 8 till 4, I'd be really happy, and I'd get on from work and I'd get on to making content. I'd get on probably to streaming more often because I'd always have the evening to do whatever I wanted. That's 6-7 hours minimum to do whatever I wanted. Right now, no. And I am someone who, unless I have to wake up to do something, I will not wake up. Or if I have to do something, I will wake up almost as early as possible, or as late as possible, rather. before I have to wake up for that thing. So if I start work at 4 p.m., I will wake up at 2:30 p.m., have food, quickly jump in the shower, and go to work. That's it. My day is gone at that point. I come home from work, I'm tired, I'm a little bit worn out because it's a heavy lifting job, and then it's like I don't want to make content. So I'm in this consistent cycle. It's okay though, because I had to because of my sleeping problems, I had to buy melatonin last night. So hopefully that'll help me out with sleeping. Am I going to buy 2K22? Oh, 100%. 100%. 100%. I don't care if that game is dog. The only real question I have in regards to it is... the only real question I have in regards to it is, what am I going to get it on? Like, if they find out how to mod that game relatively easily and soon, then PC, hands down, no doubt about it. If they don't, and let's say, one of my dream things for 2K22, which I don't think gets talked about enough, is cross-compatibility for community creations. I think that's, I assume that is entirely possible. If they did that, that would be awesome, and I'd keep the game on PC, no doubt about it. If they didn't, if they don't mod it, if they don't know how to mod it, and community creations is almost, I don't want to say dead, but not as active as it is on next gen, current gen, then I'll have to buy a PS5, and I'll have to buy 2K22. That's the only reason I'd get the next gen console is for 2K22 and beyond. Like, I have no desire to get those consoles. But I may have to if things don't work out with PC and 2K22 in terms of modding and it's a terrible port or something like that. I don't know. I have faith in these guys this year. I have a lot of faith in them. Not a lot of faith. Good faith. What do I think of RK Bro? Interesting. Every time I see little clips of them, I think it's very entertaining. Sleep is a drug when you're working hard. Yeah, but the problem is that I'm on the come down part of it before I can even fall asleep. I don't know what it is recently. I've been having, like, a hyperactive mind when I go to bed. So, like, I'll get into bed, and I'll go to bed. Or I'll get into bed and try and fall asleep, and it's like my mind is hyperactive. Just thinking about nothing, almost. But it's thinking about something, if that makes sense. Like, it's not at ease. It's not chilled out. So I'm struggling to fall asleep. That's one of the main parts of it, anyway. Did I ever play Battlegrounds? I think I played it once and went, oh, this game is not for me. Yeah, I do absolutely mean dog shit when I mean worst case scenario. But you can't get worse, right, than what we had to endure last time, right? Seen Element Games? Yeah, he's certainly a creator. He has interesting ideas. I'll give him credit for that. Do I like Chris Benoit's wrestling? Absolutely. In terms of a wrestler, he's one of the greatest of all time. This is just froth at this point. The fuck? That was a weird shot of my eyes then. What was I going to say about SmackDown? Oh yeah, SmackDown's in the books. I think you guys will like it. I hope you guys will like it. It's a lot. So if you remember Raw, which was 6 years ago at this point, that was very storyline based. This SmackDown has storyline based in it, but it's majority wrestling. It's a very wrestling centric show. Start bookended by two important matches. So the tag title match between the Good Brothers and the Saviors is going to open the show, and then the main event will be Ricochet's Open Challenge. I think Ricochet's Open Challenge turned out as a great match, and I think you guys are really going to like that one. That was one of the more easy matches I've recorded in a while, and I really liked how it turned out. I think that was the easiest match I've recorded, but I don't know, King of the Ring had some fairly easy matches to record. That was probably the easiest match I've had to record since Keith Lee and Dijakovic, which was by far and away so easy. Just stand them up and just go punch each other in the face. Good work. Do I think I don't know, Batten, and truth be told, I kind of don't care. If they do. That's it. I mean, I'm not interested. I accept some Jay White involvement in the tag title match. Nah. White's past the time with the Saviors now. I think he might go back to a, I don't know. We might get Ciampa involved. I mean, Ciampa has said he's going to be in the building on SmackDown. I'm not saying anything. I mean, the last time the Saviors and the Good Brothers went up against each other, Ciampa caused the distraction for the Good Brothers to win. So, who knows? How many matches are on the show? 4. 4 matches. Some backstage segments. And a very interesting post-match segment as well. Welcome in, Kingpin and Jordan. Fuck the Cody Rhodes. Yeah, what a terrible promo. Census groups, by the way. Oh, we don't use them. We don't use focus groups. But we send out emails every day asking you to do surveys. Do I think Danny Bryan should wrestle in New Japan? Not right now. New Japan's a cesspit. I say that as someone who's a diehard New Japan fan. It is absolutely terrible in New Japan right now. It is the worst it has been since Inokiism. I kind of wish Double or Nothing was tonight, so I could not pay attention to it tonight. But, hey, them's the way she blows. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. That's a frequent. Oh, yeah, do you like how Blackbird fell off the wall? Happened a month ago. I still haven't put it back up. Oh, yeah. I will admit, the notes I've got for that segment, I cannot wait to pull that segment off. Get ready for a lot of reading in that segment, because obviously it is just a L.I.J celebration, so it's going to be promo. So get ready for a lot of reading. And get ready, if you're in the Premiere chat, to just spam boo and arsehole and whatever else you need to spam. Because I will really appreciate that as well. But I think it's going to be great. The Blackbird is a dead bird. It is the living embodiment of the song Blackbird right now. It has collapsed against the WWE Championship. It's alright, I have a frame down there. A friend from work, a very generous friend from work, gave me a frame. I just need to have time to frame it. That and my diploma. My diploma's been on the floor for almost a year now. Well, AEW guys are already in my universe. Some of them anyway, Steve, so that wouldn't really work. And plus, that does not interest me in the slightest. Well, it depends, Batten. I already have quite a few AEW guys already in there. I mean, Omega, Cody, MJF, Mox, you know. There's more I can definitely name, but those are the ones that are coming to my head at the top of my head right now. Do I have plans of bringing in more? Without spoilings, I suppose. But I said this before. I went through a phase where I would bring in literally anyone I could. And now I'm at the phase where I only want to bring in people I want to bring in. So, like, if I am going to bring in people, it's going to be very, like, if I am going to bring in people, I think I would bring in at max 5 people right now. Whereas post-Mania, I used to bring in, like, 15 people. I may only bring in 5 people now, at best, if I even decide to bring anyone in. Because, again, I could be like, oh, yeah, I want to bring in that guy. And then at the last minute go, actually, I don't like that idea. I'm just going to cut it. What happened to you? Work, Jordan. That's what happened to me. Work with very nasty hours that get me down bad. Alright, do you want me to call you JYK? Or is there anything else you want me to call you? Hope you're doing well, though. I am on YouTube, yeah. I can't be bothered to stream on Twitch. Goto and Ishii are going to interrupt. That is incredibly likely, given the last time we saw Goto and Ishii with L.I.J. They got laid out backstage. Oh no, they chased off Hiromu. Yeah. Who will face Naito at Mania? Who says Naito is even going to be at Mania? This is Naito we're on about. He'll do anything to get himself out of a situation. So wait for Karrion Kross. I brushed upon this before. And I brushed upon it again, because I like brushing upon this topic. There is one big reason why Karrion Kross will not work in Universe. We already have Karrion Kross. And his name is Karrion. Karrion basically is Karrion Kross. He is Devil's Advocate. He is evil. He is dark. He is sadistic. He is almost everything that Karrion Kross is in NXT. But even more a bigger bastard than Karrion Kross is. Because, of course, Kross isn't really a bastard. He's just a dominant heel. Karrion's a bastard. Yeah. Karrion, to me, that's why Karrion Kross wouldn't work. Because I think if you have them two in the universe, and again, if you have them two even on the same brand, they cancel each other out. They are so... they are so like each other that they make each other less special. Immediately they cancel each other out. And immediately Karrion means less, which is bad for me because, of course, he's my baby. He's my birth child. And then Karrion Kross means less as a debut because we've already had a Karrion Kross-esque character in Universe for over 2 years at this point. Heading into 3 years. So there you go. Who is my current favorite in wrestling? Shingo's up here. I love Shingo. Reigns. Roman. Tribal Chief. Best gimmick in wrestling. Best thing in wrestling right now. I am at that stage right now where if my time is so limited that if I'm only going to watch one thing of wrestling, say, a week, then I would watch Roman Reigns. That's it for me. He is just above and beyond everything else in wrestling right now. Which one do I like, Twitch or YouTube? I think for chilling, Twitch by a long shot. I have always preferred Twitch for chilling, because I think with Twitch as well, you can just play games, play any game you want, and people will just sit there and chat with you. But for making the content that I make, YouTube, without a shadow of a doubt, I don't think there's a massive scene for the 2K community on Twitch, and I think it's figureheaded right now, honestly, by Josh, JRJ. I do think he's the figurehead of it. He is the big dog, he is the tribal chief, he's the head of that table. So I prefer YouTube in that regard. I prefer YouTube for content creating, I prefer Twitch for chilling, if that makes sense. There are many feuds. Oh, there's loads of feuds there for Karrion. So the best way I can describe it is I have a note under all of my match cards that I make. I have notes for post-Mania right now written down. So it'll say something like, when will Gargano return? Something like that. This guy brings in this guy as a protege or something like that. And then underneath it, it just has like Karrion versus Gargano, Karrion versus Black, Karrion versus Naito, Karrion versus, Tyler Bate 2, Karrion versus British Empire, all of them, fuck it, why not? Karrion versus Adam Cole. There's just a massive list of Karrion feuds. And like, it's not to say they're all going to happen, but they're ideas. They're in my head. And then another thing will be like, Rollins versus, Naito, why not? Rollins versus, there's just loads of ideas that I have spinning around in my head. And they just sit down there and I'll be like, nope, 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 or yep, yep, yep. So, I think that should tell you a lot, yeah. Karrion's got loads of ideas. Rollins has loads of ideas as well. But, obviously, they're going at it right now. And I'm really happy about that. I've waited so long for that. Thoughts on Reigns' theme song? Didn't like it at first. Really like it now. Really like it. It fits him so much better. It fits him so well. Which wrestler did I like as a kid? Jeff Hardy. Will Roman beat Bobby Fischer's record? So, sorry, I'm trying to put my glass in the bin. I did this bin on Wednesday and it's full already. So Roman already has the record for the longest World Heavyweight Championship reign of all time. I'll check the wiki now. At 231 days. So he's got 160 days to go. which is what, 6 months. So he'd have to retain post Mania. It's possible he could, but it's also of course possible that Pete Dunne could beat him at WrestleMania. But he's got the longest World Heavyweight Championship reign, and by the time we reach WrestleMania, he'll be in the top 10 reigns of all time. We're 5.5 weeks from Mania, so that's what, 35 plus about another 6. He's about 41 days at minimum to add on. So that's 272, which will put him above Corin's NXT Championship reign. So he'll be 6th overall at minimum. There you go. That was quick math. Corin versus Ciampa, that would be another one. Dude, that's a very good one. If Corin ever went anywhere other than ECW, that would probably be top of the list. I think others that could be top of the list, maybe, for that kind of thing would be like... This is just me spitballing off the top of my head. Corin versus the Demon. Finn. Corin versus... Mox. Corin versus... Reigns. Corin versus Omega. Again, he's a never-ending plethora of wealth, is he? In terms of what he can bring to the table. Like Corin versus Kyle. Corin versus Walter. Fuck it. Let's just watch them slap each other for 15 minutes. That'd be great. Will this be uploaded as a video after? Yeah, it will be, Ethan, don't worry. I'll just leave it up as a VOD. What's my favorite match of all time? So there are two things that I have for this. One is my favorite and one is the greatest, if that makes sense. So my favorite match of all time is Taker versus HBK at WrestleMania 25. The greatest match of all time, in my opinion, is Okada Omega 4 at Dominion 2018. But I would go back and watch Taker HBK 5 times before I would watch Omega versus Okada once. If that makes sense. Reigns versus Dunne. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. I think Dunne has been a real interesting case for me, because obviously he came to SmackDown and immediately things just didn't click for him on SmackDown. Went over to Raw, thankfully, and immediately hit the ground running on Raw. The US title was fantastic, in my opinion. That title reign was really entertaining. The 2 matches with Omega were out of the world. The first one is one of the best matches I think I've made in a while, and that was on 2K20 as well. And then, then he went into the King of the Ring tournament, and yeah, everything's just, like, Dunne has really been a big breakout the past year in Universe, and that's where, like, he's gone from debuting this time last year and everything not really clicking on SmackDown to going to Raw, becoming United States Champion, having a really good United States Championship reign, having 2 Match of the Year candidate qualities with Kenny Omega, winning King of the Ring, facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That's a big swing. What a difference a year makes for both of them as well, because Reigns this time last year was almost, well, he beat The Undertaker, but then he was just almost like that close, but never close enough to being world champion. Corin versus Ciampa, just because Foreign can force Ciampa. Ah, dude, playing devil's advocate between Mojo and Johnny, that would be really fun. That's a really nice idea. That's really good, Pierre. I like that a lot. If I could create my own wrestling promotion and shows on 2K19, what would I call it? Bankruptcy. How quickly can we bankrupt this company? The answer, very quickly. I wouldn't have a name for the shows. I don't know. I'm not really that... I don't know. I'm not very good at creating wrestling promotions. Will Kyle O'Reilly ever win the world title? Don't know. Will he ever overcome the No Way Out curse? Will he ever overcome the loss to Walter and the loss at the Rumble? Will he ever be able to, when he comes back from injury, will he be the O'Reilly that he was at the end of the year? Who knows? Whatever the case is, O'Reilly is massive right now. Ciampa versus Reigns, that'd be big. If they're both still champion by Survivor Series, that would depend. Would I rather do that? No, yeah, probably I would do that as the... What would I rather do as the team versus team? Would I rather do Team Ciampa versus Team Reigns, but they both kind of work on their own? Would they be the singles match? What would be the Survivor Series elimination match? That'd be a good one, though. I like that. Alright, here's a question for you guys. Let's see if you can sort this one out. So, since Undisputed Era is dead in real life as well, and it never existed in universe, where would you, what in universe terms, from 1 to 4, what order within universe now this is, would you rank the members of Undisputed Era within universe? So, from Fish, Strong, Cole, and O'Reilly. 1 to 4, what would you rank them? If I was a professional wrestler, what would be my gimmick? Devil's advocate. I don't think I'd be a wrestler. I think I'd be a manager. And I would be the guy who, maybe not a manager, but a non-wrestler. And I'd be the guy who just not guilt trips everyone, but is the devil on their shoulder of all the sides. So like if there's two faces feuding, I'm not gonna wrestle for the title, but I am gonna be chirping in your ear to try and make you be the bad guy. Because I think that is what I would love to do the most. Is 1 the best? Yes. 1 is the best and 4 is the least best. I think Brian versus Joe would be a good rivalry. Yeah, of course. That rivalry is based entirely on wrestling talents, in my opinion. So, yeah, of course. Getting another beer. BRB. I expect to see 6 lists by the time I come back, or everyone is banned. That's a drill. I should not drink too much, but I'm sensible, so I won't. It's probably the last one I have. Time is it? 8:30. Cool. Really? Really, really, really? O'Reilly over Fish. What makes you choose that? Batten? I'm very interested to know. What would put O'Reilly over Fish for you? 3 and 4. Yeah, I don't have a problem with. I think that makes sense. That was a nice stretch. Oops. Just how I feel. That's fair. I mean, it could also be one of those things where, like, recency bias, if you get my understanding there. Like, O'Reilly has done way more in recent times than Fish has. And maybe, I don't know for 100% certainty, Batten, but maybe, like, you know, you weren't around when Fish was champion, so maybe that reign doesn't almost connect. Not connect, but it doesn't have the same oomph that it might do for me, if that makes sense. But, yeah, I can understand why Kyle would be number 1 as well. 1 Fish, 2 O'Reilly, 3 Cole, 4 Strong. Yeah. I agree with that list. I think, for me, because Fish holds 2 records on SmackDown, it's my history studies and history student coming out of me. Because of the past, it says how much Fish succeeded. It's what leads him into that number 1 spot. But then in the present, like, O'Reilly has just been on another level. Like, you know, he's had non-stop banger matches. He became that really sympathetic babyface heading into the match with Reigns. He became even more sympathetic after the Walter stuff and then not winning the Rumble. So, I definitely think in the here and now, O'Reilly is number 1 for certain. But I think of all time, he still isn't better than Fish. And there's a part of me that wants to put Cole as like a very close number 3 as well, because Cole does. I mean, he has a very short world title reign, but he has a world title reign. He has won the Royal Rumble. And of course, he did just have a massive upset win over Rusev. So that's got a lot going on it as well, I think, for Cole as well. Like, he's not number 3 just because number 3. He's number 3, but it's almost like he's done a lot, but he hasn't done as much as those other 2. My favorite Rollins match? Oh, Rollins vs. Gargano. All day, every day. Oh, will it go all the way? Will it go all the way? What's my favorite finisher? That's a good one. That's a good one, Jordan. It's a finisher I love. Diamond cutter. Always love a diamond cutter. Ooh. Open the playing field up. Anyone can get involved in this one. Some of your favorite finishers. Diamond cutter is coming to mind right for me right away right now. Black mass. Uh-oh. I can't drink out of a fucking bottle. What am I, 12 months old? The overdrive. Hang on, let me get in touch with Johnny. Let me know that you. Let me know to. I'll tell him to ban you from Twitch. What a terrible move. God, I'm really bad at thinking of great finishers. I think Diamond Cutter might be my favorite because it's the one that's just sticking in my head right now. It's the one that I like the most. I think for fanboy reasons, I will love the Swanton, like for the Jeff Hardy fan in me. I've always loved the Rainmaker, but I think it's just because of how Okada does it and the execution of it and the Rainmaker value of it rather than the move itself. I'll go Diamond Cutter. There you go. Sweet Chin Music's a good one, but unfortunately the bastardization of the super kick has almost made that irrelevant. Do I ever plans in the universe and changed them? Loads. Loads. Tons. Potentially even triple figures. The amount of times I've changed plans. I mean, what was the... I'm sure I brushed up on this before. There was one big one that I can't remember. But it's slipping my mind right now. Burning Hammer's a great one as well. Any variation of the Emerald Flosion is also a great one as well. I'm a bit of an old school sucker for finishes, you know. I like the oomph over the look, if that makes sense. I like the idea that I know that move is gonna hurt over the idea of how flashy that move looks. So something like the Stunner will always be legendary as a great finisher. Pedigree, obviously, because of my bias for Triple H. But I think Diamond Cutter sits in number one. Can you name a wrestler on the main roster that you would like to see booked, that you would like to see pushed, and tell us how you'd book it? Right now, on the main roster? I think Big E, but I would just go down the kind of route that they're doing right now, which feels like a slow burn build. The only thing I would do different with Big E is I'd probably kill a lot of the New Day vibe of him. I'd still make him charismatic and a bit flamboyant and a bit fun, but he still has a lot of a New Day vibe to him, and I think I'd kind of take that out a little bit and make it a little bit more serious. Like when the time comes to get serious, he gets serious. And sometimes when I'm watching the SmackDown stuff, I don't really get that vibe from him. That's really it for Big E right now, though. Like, they're doing a lot right with Big E, and I do think he is the slow burn. So, yeah, that's probably the one that I've got there, God. What is one decision that I regret in Universe? What, that I regret the most? This is a tough... Bollocks. Just dribbled all over myself. Not doing a better job with Tanahashi's reign comes to mind. But that's not like my biggest regret. Anyone got any ideas of stuff that I did that you didn't like and that you may see as a regret? Just waiting for the inevitable Cole should have beaten Rollins at Mania. Because no, he shouldn't have. Got that? That's not my biggest regret, though. Maybe taking... No, that's not booking. That's more like me. Maybe taking so long to understand how to do more intricate stuff. And just relying on a lot of basic foods and basic methods to build up a food every single week for about 2 years. Is probably up there. I can't really look back at 2K14 in vain, Zach, because I was young. Like, I was... How old was I? 14. Yeah. 14, 15 when I was making that stuff. So I can't look back in vain at that and say, oh, that stuff was dreadful. Oh, what a terrible thing that was. Because I didn't know. I didn't know. So... That's kind of it. Like, it's really hard for me to just say, oh yeah, that thing from 2K14. Because how can I regret something that I probably don't remember doing because I was 6-7 years ago, and I was a teenager, and a young teenager at that. So, not that. I don't know. I'm blanking on what one of my biggest regrets is. I'm sure there's something up there immediately. As a booker, this is now. Maybe putting the title on Jinder Mahal. I don't really regret it, but it just never went anywhere for me. Maybe Cole should have had that moment. I don't know. But then maybe I would have done it all over again. There's one person I would love to sign. Shingo Takagi. Or Ricky Starks. I am really big fans of both of them. Hi, by the way, Jamie. Sorry, I got distracted by thinking about a question that's got me thinking about years of decisions. Do I partner up with other YouTube channels? In what way, Jeffrey? Like, do I work alongside YouTube channels? Sure, I talk with them. I have, like, me and Murphs talk in Discord pretty much every single day at this point. But anything else? Like, no, not really. Like, other people make a lot of content similar to mine, but obviously I don't partner with them on it. Like, I'll work alongside with people, i.e. with Moose for the World Cup commentary tonight. That's pretty much it. I don't really help them out with booking or anything. In my opinion, leave that to yourself, you know? It's your series. Do what you want to do. Don't come to me, because I'll just book it how I would book it. And then you're just doing my shit. Battleground pay-per-view? No, I don't have any regrets. That's not really a regret. That pay-per-view was gonna suck anyway. You know, I've executed way better 2-week builds since then. Anarchy Rules was a really good 2-week build pay-per-view. I just think it's just... That was just a bad pay-per-view more than what it was. Me regretting it? I don't regret it because I'd probably just have the same results. That was just a complete filler pay-per-view with no real time to build it. No regrets about that one. It probably still wouldn't have been a good pay-per-view even if I'd had a more hands-on approach to it at the time. Favorite theme song? No more words. Okay, do a tier list of Rollins matches on the list. On the list of future videos. I got that. I got a best matches tournament bracket thing that Sonic sent me a while back. I got tag teams. I got women's wrestlers. I got quite a few tier lists lined up in my head. But I don't want to do them all at once. Like, my main mindset right now is I will sprinkle in the tier lists every now and then, but my main focus is 100% on Universe. What was my favorite match type? I'm a sucker for 1v1s. I don't know, gimmick matches though. Cell is always up there. Cell is iconic in my opinion. Money in the Bank. Those two. Those are my favorite stipulation types. I really do like the Chamber. Also, hello, Supreme. I didn't notice that was you then. I hope you're doing well, man. I did see your post. I really hope you're doing well. I do like the Chamber, but I don't know. I am stuck in the old ways of wrestling, and I prefer 1v1s over multi-mans any day. So I think Cell would be #1 for me. And I think that's whenever I do a Cell match in Universe as well, I want them to be special. Like, I wanted... Like, I mean, I know Hell in a Cell, I did that as a pay-per-view, and I probably won't do it again, because I'm not... in the same breath as Myths, I'm not a big fan of gimmick pay-per-views. But the two cells contrasted one another. Like, the idea was that in the first Hell in a Cell, Samoa Joe ended up being locked in the cell with the Fiend. The second one was these guys fucking hate each other. They absolutely... O'Reilly wants to murder this man. But in the end, he ended up being murdered by Walter, because don't fuck with Walter. So I'll go Cell. You're kind of right, Jeffrey. I mean, I've always had a loving passion for doing YouTube. I always will. Numbers for me is just one of those things where, like, I know the community I'm in. I know I'm strangleholded to a degree in terms of the numbers that I can gain. Like, you know, not many people are going to be a Denk or a Pulse in terms of those numbers. I'm just here just to make the content that I enjoy, and if I have 10,000 subscribers or 3,000 subscribers, I don't care. I just really enjoy it, and so long as enough people enjoy it to the extent that I can keep this going as a hobby, and it will always be a hobby for me, because I don't think this is ever something that can become full-time, then that makes me happy. And if you guys are happy enjoying it, that makes me happier as well. It's my favorite stage from any wrestling promotion. Stage. I remember really liking 24's set, WrestleMania, and WrestleMania 25. Obviously, the SmackDown Fist is right up there as well. I'm trying to think of more pay-per-views with awesome sets. Backlash with the prongs. That prong. Do you know what I mean? Kingpin and me on the same idea. The hooks. Thank you. That was the word I was forgetting. Yeah. That I really like. I just remember the Here Comes the Pain thing where the pyro goes off and the hooks are going... Ooh, 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 ooh. Mania with the coaster. 33 was that? To be fair, 33 stage was quite cool. They really leaned into that Orlando Universal Studios vibe, which was quite good. Also, underrated shout, TNA Impact from Universal Studios with the 2 entrance ramps. That was a great stage, because it made the focus be on the ring. Because it didn't matter which entrance side you were coming from, the ring was where you would meet. I really liked that. Also, the tunnel at the time was awesome. Raw 2-06 stage. Like it, iconic, don't love it. Do I have any ideas for a pay-per-view or a tournament to do with Pacific Coast Championship Wrestling? The Florida Man tournament. But, who can do the most wild shit from Florida? They get to win a lifetime subscription to Arby's. There you go. I don't know. See, the thing is, if I was to do a starting tournament or pay-per-view, I'd really lean into the Florida vibe. As for... here's an idea for a pay-per-view. I'm not too sure about a tournament. For a pay-per-view, try and do like a Miami Vice. Or Scarface. Or GTA Vice City. That was what I was looking for. Try and come up with something like a GTA Vice City style pay-per-view. That would be a good look. And there's the assets in 2K19 as well, which has that Miami Vice style. I can't remember which one it's called, but it has a Miami, that GTA Vice City style to it, where it'll look really good in the end of it. So give that a try. That's my idea. I always like the WrestleMania 19 stage. That's a good one. My only problem with the WrestleMania 19 stage, I guess it wasn't the stage, it was the ramp. It had that hook at the end. And I assume that's more to do with the stadium than it is to do with the stage. But like, you went down the ramp and then you went right a bit. And it just... that little hook kind of took away from the idea of just going central to the ring. That was the first pay-per-view where they really went with how fucking long can we make this ramp. Actually, no, it wasn't, because in Mania 3, they had to have those little ring things to get him to the ring. Do you remember that? What's my favorite Roddy Piper match? God, none of them. I guess Brett at Mania 8 by default. Piper was a decent promo, but man, he was not very special in the ring. How long do we think they'll go with it? What was the longest ramp they've done? Was it 33 was the longest ramp they've done? Where, like, it was so long the Taker had to come up 2/3 of the way down it. Last Ride, one of the best documentaries I've ever watched. Have to say that, though. What a fantastic documentary. I was going to go with the Pat Patterson Memorial Tournament. That's fine. Yeah, that's good as well. Piper in his later years... Oh, in WCW, he is just rambling about stuff. They were, the last episode of Nitro I watched, they were trying to set up the Triple Threat War Games match, and Piper started going on about Hulk Hogan wearing a dress. So, I don't think he once said the word War Games in that promo either. 33 was long. 28 was long. 31 was long. Credit to Rollins for running down an entire ramp, and the cameraman running down behind him as well. 31. Also, shout out to 31, because I thought that pay-per-view was going to suck, and it was really good. 32's was sizable. 34's was just 30, so that's fine. 35 was a girthy boy. 37's was a girthy boy as well. They just love the idea of girthy sets, don't they? They want big girth and big length in these in these ramps now. I'm curious to know how many thousands of seats it might cost them, though. If that makes sense. Like, how much does it, you know, if you have, like, the ramp is, like, 20 feet longer, how many seats does that cost you? I'm just saying. I'm just thinking out loud right now. I don't know. It's the pub mindset of me trying to find good conversation. Cheers for that one. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing names, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. How many more weeks until Mania in game? 5.5. So SmackDown and after SmackDown and ECW, it'll be 5 weeks. Ever since they took away the numbers to Mania, they all started to blend it to me. Oh, and they stopped having, like, WrestleMania, XVIII. I'm with you. What was the last one that did that? 30? With the triple X? Yeah, bring it back. If I remember rightly, they took it away because Vince didn't like it because it... Well, this was the idea at the time, was that Vince didn't like it because it made him realize how old he was or something. But I think the Roman numerals make it look awesome. Like, everyone remembers WrestleMania 17 as XVII. Oh, no, it was X7. Everyone remembers WrestleMania 17 as X7. Everyone remembers WrestleMania XIX. WrestleMania XX. WrestleMania... But then from... Actually, no, they ditched the Roman numerals for a bit from 20 onwards, didn't they? Because they had 21, 22, 23. And then it was XXIV. And then it was 25, 26, 27... And I'm sure 28 was XVIII. He didn't want the numbers because it makes WrestleMania look good. What, just on its own saying WrestleMania? Oh, look, old. No. It's like saying that UFC 256 makes UFC look old. Doesn't. Just shows that you've done a load of shows. The War Games match gets added in game. Would I use it? Yeah. I'd use it. I feel like right now, if it got added, the one faction that would belong in it is Los Ingobernables de Japón. Not a shadow of a doubt. Imagine L.I.J in a War Games match trying to run away. The only thing is for me though is that War Games, and I said this because I said this when Blood and Guts, is that what it's called in AEW? Is that the roof setup is War Games. Like that's when I think War Games, that's what I think when I think War Games. I think that WCW set, cell, cage, roof, that's it. I'm not massively on the WWE style because it's just two cages put together essentially, but I love that set. Whether or not they'd add in two versions of it, I don't know. If they did the roof, awesome. Because I would 100% use that. And then can you imagine L.I.J in there? They'd be running for their lives. Regal War Games! Yeah, I'd probably have to scream something like that, wouldn't I? To announce War Games. It just made me think, I don't know if, I hate to say this because of how I don't use it. Have any of you ever seen that TikTok of William Regal? When he's like, when you have two people who hate each other and you need to settle it, but you can't go anywhere else. You know what that means. And he stands up from his table and he just goes, I ain't never seen two pretty best friends. Spends the whole time setting up for the War Games line and just drops a really camp reference. I love how British Regal sounds. I saw that. I liked it on Twitter. That promo for his birthday, when he was his babyface promo, and he was like, "Well, you know who want to fight you? It's bloody me, sunshine." He has such a good British voice to him. I love Regal. What a talent. Who is my favorite champion besides Rollins? Good question. Good question. My mind says Fish, but my heart doesn't. There we go. My apologies. It's really tough for me to just say Fish, because that seems like the easy option. I want to say there was a champion that I had a bit more attachment to. But I'm not sure who it is. In terms of enjoying their reign, that is, anyway. I don't know. It's a good one, though. I'll come back to that one, because I don't want to... There's some more... Oh, Josh giving me money. Thank you. I'll take that money, and I'll eat it. Thanks, Josh. Hey, when are you doing Saturday night's main event, by the way? I'll make sure to not tune in. Just joking. Welcome to the two-person commentary. Scrapped it. I prefer doing one-man commentary booths. I think it just works better for me. I flow better with it. I can do shows whenever I want to. And I really prefer it that way. Like, if there's something I want to get over on commentary, I can. Whereas in a two-man booth, you might not be able to. Also, in a two-man booth, again, you got time zones. I got noise. Basically have a noise gate with, like, how late I can be loud. So that's out of the window. I prefer just yabbering away on commentary rather than having to sit back and listen to someone who might just be making a irrelevant point. Well, not an irrelevant point, but a point that doesn't really add to the match. And again, with a lot of it now, especially, a lot of it is just promo talk, you know? So you would just be saying to the guy that you're doing it with, oh yeah, skip this bit. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I don't think I'd do it again. I think that's the best way of saying it. Same with the idea of a general manager for every brand who wasn't me. I enjoyed doing it, but I wouldn't do it again. What about Kyle's reign? It has a Gargano effect to it, in my mind. Moment was great. Reign, I don't really remember. 70 ST, bro. I'll be there. I'll probably have you on in the background as I will be working on ECW, but I'll be there. I'm trying to find the answer to this bloody question. It's a bloody good question. Do you know, I'd probably go very far back and say Michael Bennett. Because Bennett started out as the guy who saved Mania in a way from Cesaro and the New World Order winning in the main event of WrestleMania to cashing in Money in the Bank. To then being the guy to fight against the New World Order, but then it was revealed all along that he was the mastermind behind the New World Order. That one. Probably my favorite. Yeah. I'll go with that one. I get that one. I get Marty, but Marty's so awkward. It's so awkward to say Marty because obviously everything that happened, to put it nicely, with Marty. Yeah. I get why people like that reign though. I enjoyed that reign for what it was, but again, like I said in the champions tier list, like more probably could have been done from it. I don't really know what video I could do about the New World Order, Zach. Like, because it was so long ago. Like, 5 years ago now at this point. It's so tough to know really what to say about it in the mindset that I was in at the time. Because there'll be a part of me that'll think like, oh, I meant this. But that'll be me coming from the idea of 6 highlight reel cuts every minute and all these backstage promos. The only promo I remember doing with the New World Order in terms of typing up stuff around that sort of time before 2K16 was Nash and Scott Hall standing in the locker room. Standing in the general manager's office. That's about it. So I don't really know what else I could say. The only thing I really remember is the Cesaro breaking jaws thing with the Swiss Death. Kind of it. So it'd be hard to do a video on it. But I like the idea, though. If you have any ideas about how I could maybe lean on that more as well, Zach, because obviously you have been around for a long-ass time, then do let me know, because I'm all ears. Have I ever thought about having seen... Yeah, Punk won the title 5 times. Punk is the... In Universe, Punk is the guy who has won a world title more than anyone else. 3-time World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWE Champion, I believe it is. Looking back on it would be rough. Oh, 100%. But again, I look at that from the aspect of me then to me now. Me then never knew what me now could do. I don't know why I sounded so caveman in explaining that, but the me of then had no idea how to make stuff the way me now does. So... yeah, it is a bit of a rough side to it, but at the same time, I also uploaded NWO versus ECW as a From the Vault thing. Like, I am still proud of that storyline, but obviously it's nothing compared to what it would be if I could do it now. Which faction do I think was more dominant, L.I.J. or NWO? NWO. I wouldn't say L.I.J. are dominant in that regard. In wrestling terms, NWO not only won the ECW title, of course, but Cesaro injured Seth Rollins. Remember, at that Survivor Series as well. How did I remember this? This was 4.5 years ago. At that Survivor Series as well, there was 2 matches Cesaro and Rollins wrestled. They did NWO versus The Shield, and then Cesaro Rollins for the title. And of course, That was big for them as well, because in that match, Cesaro injured Rollins, and that was it. The biggest force for ECW was gone at that point. That was, that was the biggest name that ECW had. The biggest fight against the NWO that ECW had out of the window. Gone. Forget about it. He's out. His jaw is broken. The Swiss Death just hit. Anyone who gets hit by the Swiss Death is out. They're gone. Barrett was still on the shelf at that point. He hadn't returned at that point to come back and try and fight against... Oh, no, he had. He was TV champion. He was about to start feuding with them. And then, of course, the NWO went to SmackDown and won the tag team titles over there with Nash and Cesaro as well. Bennett was ECW champion the whole time without anyone knowing he was in the New World Order, which also meant that at one point he was ECW tag team champion and Money in the Bank holder while being a member of the New World Order. And, of course, after Bennett won the title, the show wasn't ECW for about 3 months. It was NWO. So that is why the NWO were more dominant than L.I.J. The only reason L.I.J. could, in my opinion, are dominant is because Naito keeps on worming his way out of the title matches. He worms his way out of losing, is the best way to describe it. Because you look at it, Hiromu doesn't have a title. Evil or Sonata don't have a title. The only one who has a title is Naito. And he's not really dominant. He just beats up anyone because he hates ECW. NWO wanted to take over ECW. L.I.J. want to burn ECW. They don't care about ECW. So that's why the NWO are more dominant. You're welcome. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Yes, Larry is a very busy man. He's taking flights everywhere for commentary. He's ECW general manager. He's working out deals, of course, with other brands and other talents and all that. He's got to work with his talents to make sure morale stays high. He's got to sort out the L.I.J. problem, the Corin problem, and at the same time as all of that, he has to get beaten up by Corin. What a bitch. Like what you said, what else you wanted to do but couldn't and stuff that you wish you would have done. Hard for me to say because it was so long ago. I think that's the best way I can describe that. Like, I'm sure there were loads of stuff at the time that I wish I could have done. But I didn't do. Okay. This is one thing, I don't know how I still remember this, but this is one thing I wish I did but I didn't do at the time. And I wanted it to be, at the time, I was going to do Curtis Axel was going to join the New World Order. But that never, ever came to be. That was one of the things I was going to do. That's the only thing I can think I didn't do. Yeah, and then that set up Rollins vs. DDP. What a feud that was. Naito was the... yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's like... And the best way to describe it, it is almost like L.I.J. are the edge heads to Edge. If that makes sense. Whereas Cesaro seemed like the commanding factor. But, it was someone above pulling all the strings. And pulled Cesaro strings to the point that he never knew what was going on. Started watching your channel around summer 2018. I think it was Lars Sullivan destroyed James Storm. Was it James Storm he beat to win the title? I thought it was Danny Bryan. Yeah, it was. He did destroy Daro, though. R.I.P. Daro. He died. But yeah, that's a while back as well. That was... So you joined right at the peak of Rollins' reign, right when he was about to start breaking every single record in sight. That's long term. Cheers for that one. God, this has always been such a tough question to answer because the obvious answer is I don't know. Like I don't know. Gargano was the first one who I ever went. That's the guy who's breaking the record. I guess Corin is always going to be up there because he's Corin. Cole was there for... Well, that was past. Looking at the roster now, or the roster I had then. Black, I guess. No, I never had plans for Black. He was at the Wyatt family at that point. Oh, Bate was one of them. I know Bate would have been a guy who I definitely would have considered. Hard to say with Naito and L.I.J. because I didn't think about Naito and L.I.J. until Rollins had lost the belt. So I don't know on that front. I feel like Karrion was just the only other guy I could think of because I knew eventually Karrion and Rollins were going to have something together. So Karrion's the only guy who comes to mind in that regard. That's all I've got, really, is Karrion. But obviously Gargano worked, I think, 10 times better than Karrion ever would have worked, because you would have been cheering Karrion like a babyface for ending the longest reign of all time, which completely goes against everything I want to do with Karrion. I remember being around for Velocity. Oh, God, Velocity. What an experience that was. There was still a part of me that would like to do something like that as like a little quick show. I mean, that was the idea behind main event when I had time to do main event, was that. But obviously that just never ended up working out, and I don't have time to do those kind of shows anymore either. I'm steadfast on the focus for Mania. If I had more time, I would consider doing it as like a show that's not edited. Maybe a Twitch show again, like how Josh does NXT, but I don't know. If I had more time, I'd consider it, but I don't. So I just got to stay steadfast focused on those 3 shows. When he attacked Goto and beat it Ono? Yeah, that was the one. What do you think about NXT titles defended at WrestleMania? If you have TakeOver the night before, what's the point? That's my response. Just do TakeOver the night before. That's the lead into Mania weekend that everyone loves, I think. I think, yeah, I'm glad I didn't do Karrion as well. Again, I think Karrion winning goes against everything that the Rollins reign would have been, because at that point Rollins was top cock. Like, he was just a massive dick about everything. So why would you have another heel beat him for it? Why not have the biggest babyface you've got beat him for it? So I get it, Joseph. The only reason why I don't think that would work, I can get why it works off the top of my head right now. The only reason I don't think it worked at the time was because it was a little bit heelish, but it was 2 guys acting selfishly against Karrion, because you have to remember, Karrion retired Kurt Angle and injured John Cena. They didn't, like, you know, their intention was almost a combined effort because of their distaste for Karrion. But again, Karrion also brought it upon himself because he attacked Kurt Angle after he retired. The idea was, you know, if Karrion got DQ'd at Chamber, he would lose the title, and he still brought out Callahan. He was still threatening to be a scumbag in every respect that he could. So I don't think I would have gone down the heel route with them. And again, at the time, Rollins was the top heel as well. So how do you top that? It's not a bad idea. I'll definitely say that, but I don't think it's an idea at the time that could have worked with everything going on. Yeah, Supreme, I have thought about it, but again, if I don't have the time to do it, I'm not going to do it. Are you on about the Karrion beating Rollins thing? I don't think he would have that Naito heat that Naito has right now. I think everyone would be cheering Karrion in that moment, because I think no matter who it was, you would be so happy that Rollins lost that you would cheer whoever it was. And I don't think that would give Karrion not go away heat, but, you know, massive molten lava heat. So that's why I don't think Karrion would have ever worked in that regard. But again, he was the only other name that ever came to my mind as this could actually be the guy, to the extent that Gargano was and is. There you go. with Karrion versus Naito, you can have them take each other out, killing two birds with one stone. Have Bate versus Karrion, since Bate always wins against Karrion. I mean, my biggest problem with Karrion and Naito, and I think I talked about this before, is that it is the two biggest heels colliding. And my biggest problem with that is that whenever I do a feud like that, there's always a guy that you have to have a little bit of sympathy for. You always have to have that little bit of kind of good guy vibe to lean towards. And I think if it's all that Karrion and Naito is who is the bigger cock between them, you don't really have a desire to be like working together. Oh no, sorry, not working together. You don't really have a desire to be like cheering that guy on. You just sort of like, well, I hate you and I hate you. So which one do I hate the least? But then am I going to cheer that guy that I hate the least because I just hate them the least? So I don't know. That's my biggest problem with Karrion and Naito, because they are two massive heels. And I think that's what really makes them almost not work. Fuck Larry. Yeah, fuck Larry. That would be that feud. I would just be there the whole time. They've broken the ECW set again. They've broken Kurt Angle's neck. So, yeah. There you go. That's that feud, though. Between now again, 2K18 and Mania 2K19. Good time. I quite enjoyed that. I mean, that was Gargano Ciampa, Cole winning the Royal Rumble, those sort of things. Hang on one sec, people. I'm getting a phone call. Alright, in other notes, in other world, in other news, I now have to jump because friends have decided they want to come see me and I haven't seen him in about 2 months. So my apologies, fellas. Thank you all for tuning in. You had some really good questions. We'll definitely do this again, hopefully sometime soon. See you very, 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 very soon for SmackDown now. That's about that. But thank you guys all for tuning in. If I don't make it to the World Cup in time, I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. Be sure to go, of course, to watch Murph's World Cup. I did commentary on it, so if you need a reason to watch it, there's your reason. I made that show 10 times better. You're welcome. But there we go. Thank you guys all for tuning in. It was really fun, and I really want to do this again, because there's just something about chatting with you guys that's really fun. Alright, see you guys soon enough for SmackDown. Thank you guys all, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye!